In October 732 AD, the fate of the West hung in the balance.
Can a static shield wall break the charge of heavy cavalry?
Subscribe to the channel to analyze the tactics that saved a kingdom. Our story begins on the terrified plains of central Gaul. By the 8th century, the Umayyad Caliphate controlled vast territories. They had swept through the Iberian Peninsula with unstoppable momentum. In 721 AD, they first tested the defenses of the Frankish borders. Now, a new governor of Al-Andalus gathered a massive invasion force. He aimed to plunder the wealthy sanctuary of Saint Martin in Tours. The invaders crossed the Pyrenees and descended upon the region of Aquitaine. They met the Duke of Aquitaine outside the city of Bordeaux. The southern defenders were annihilated in a river of blood. The city was sacked, and its treasures were seized by the victors. Panic spread along the Roman roads leading to the Frankish heartland. The defeated duke rode north to beg his rival for assistance. The Frankish mayor of the palace ruled the north with an iron fist. He agreed to help only if the duke swore total allegiance. A united front was formed to halt the advancing southern storm. The Frankish commander raised his levies and marched toward the Loire. He knew his infantry could not match the enemy's speed in open fields. Strategy dictated that he must choose the ground for the engagement. He positioned his troops near the confluence of the Clain and Vienne. The army occupied a wooded hill located near Moussy-la-Bataille. Trees were used to break the momentum of a cavalry charge. The high ground forced the enemy to fight uphill against gravity. The governor of Al-Andalus arrived and was surprised by this formation. He saw a solid square of infantry blocking the path to Tours. The invaders set up their camp and waited for the Franks to move. The Frankish commander refused to leave his defensive advantage. For 7 days, the two hosts watched each other across the gap. Minor skirmishes occurred as scouts tested the lines for weaknesses. The northern warriors were dressed in wolf skins and heavy chainmail. They endured the October chill better than the lighter-clad invaders. The Saracen leader grew impatient as his supplies began to dwindle. On the 7th day, the governor ordered the general assault. Thousands of heavy cavalrymen launched themselves up the wooded slope. The earth shook under the hooves of the charging war horses.
The Frankish infantry locked their heavy shields into a dense phalanx.
They stood shoulder to shoulder, like a glacier of iron.
Enemy lances shattered against the unyielding wall of northern wood.
Swords clashed violently as the riders tried to hack through the line.
The Frankish commander stood in the center and rallied his troops.
His veterans utilized the terrain to negate the enemy's mobility.
The trees disrupted the formation of the attacking squadrons.
Every time the cavalry withdrew, the shield wall remained unbroken. The disciplined infantry stabbed upward with spears to kill the mounts.
The battle raged furiously until the sun began to set. A rumor suddenly rippled through the ranks of the invading army.
Frankish scouts had circled back to strike the enemy encampment.
The vast plunder from Bordeaux was now at risk of capture.
Discipline collapsed as cavalry units turned back to save their loot. The Saracen leader tried desperately to halt the unauthorized retreat.
Hold the line, men! To me! Stand and fight!
He rode to the front to rally his wavering forces. In the confusion, the Frankish infantry surged forward to attack.
The governor was surrounded by a group of northern warriors.
He fell beneath their spears and died on the chaotic field.
The remaining invaders fled back to their tents as darkness fell.
The Franks held their position and slept on their shields. At first light, the Frankish commander prepared for a second attack. His scouts approached the silent tents of the enemy camp.
They found the site completely empty of soldiers and horses.
The invaders had abandoned their heavy plunder and fled south. They retreated hastily toward the safety of the Pyrenees Mountains.
The Frankish victory at Poitiers preserved the independence of the north. This triumph marked the end of the major invasions into Gaul.
The commander was forever known as the Hammer after this day.
His dynasty would eventually give rise to a new European empire.